Hello and welcome to the wrap on day 13 of the Betfred World Snooker Championship. It's semi-final time and we're down to one table. This afternoon, three-time world champion Mark Selby kicked off his semi-final against Stuart Bingham. Mark Selby lost the first frame. That's the first time he's been behind this world championship. Then he won the next three, but then it finished 4-all, so that's nicely poised. The semi-finals are the race to 16. Right then, 7 o'clock tonight, Shaun Murphy is in action. And the 2005 champion has said he's not had the greatest of seasons and his semi-final feels like a free crack.
I mean, he was involved in a near miss last year in the semi-finals, got through, and he talks deeply about the match with Ronnie last year in the final. Coming back, as I say, I know he builds his whole life around doing well here. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm very lucky that my World Championship trophy is at home, as is my Masters in UK and all the others. So I don't feel like there's much pressure on me at all. I've had a terrible year. I'm on a massively free crack at it and can't wait to get out there.
Shaun Murphy won it in 2005, his first semi-final since 2015 when he lost to Stuart Bingham in the final that year. Now, Kyren Wilson is the only man in the semi-finals not to win the World Championship before. He will win it one day. Could even be this year. Great story in the newspapers this morning. This was ahead of his quarter-final victory over Neil Robertson. Give it a rest. Kyren bonking couple kept me up. Kyren Wilson showed amazing crucible stamina despite being kept awake by a pair of bonking hotel sex pots. Here is Kyren explaining what happened in his press conference.
There was a couple bonking above me at about 11:45. I planned to go to sleep at 12, but they were at it for a good half hour. So it got to about 12:15 and I thought, right, give it a rest now. And I think it was about 12:30 I got to sleep. But they were at it again at 7. I'm thinking the stamina's incredible. Honestly, I'm not joking. Yeah, seriously.
You get in the broom or something?
I'm just thinking, you jammy gits. Unbelievable. I've not been there for a few weeks now, and the temptations are getting quite tough.
So do you know who they were? Did you sort of ring room service?
I had a little look around at breakfast, but it's a grab and go, so I couldn't really get a good image of them. Yeah.
If you ring reception and say there's someone shagging upstairs, what are they going to do? They've paid for the room, to be fair, haven't they?
Yeah, no, I asked for the room number just so I could get a little bit of a closer listen, but that's kind of against COVID restrictions at the minute, so it was all about social distancing.
So so you got to sleep at 12, woke up at, say, 6 o'clock, 6:30?
No, they were bonking again at 7.
So you're up at 7, yeah.
And I set my alarm for 7:30.
Yeah.
So I laid in and I had to listen to it for a little while, and then obviously, woke up at about 7:30.
Well, you showed great stamina yourself on the table.
That was Kyren Wilson in his press conference yesterday. Remember last year, he won that unbelievable semi-final against Anthony McGill, 17-16. Watch that final frame decider again. You'll never, ever see a frame like it. He kicks off against Shaun Murphy at 7 o'clock tonight. Let's hear from one of the commentary team. This is the commentary box for the semi-finals and the final. And working for the BBC is Ken Doherty.
Cracking match, two contrasting styles. Shaun Murphy, already former champion, of course. Kyren Wilson, been knocking on the door now the last 3 years. Got to the final, of course, last year, and he's been so consistent over the last season and a half, you say, or a couple of seasons. It's going to be a classic match, different styles. And I think it's going to be a really close game. I mean, Shaun Murphy, he'll be full of confidence after beating world number 1 Judd Trump. And the manner and the way he held himself together in those last couple of frames was so impressive. But he's scoring a lot better. He looks a lot more positive. His long ball game is there. And he's very hard to stop. But if anyone can stop him, Kyren Wilson's game can. And he put the stop on Neil Robertson in the quarterfinals. He looks very impressive. He's very composed. He's very determined to get his hands on that trophy and kiss that beautiful lady on top of the trophy. I think it's going to be a cracking match.
Shaun seems to have his swagger back.
Yeah, he does, definitely, yeah. I mean, he's had a difficult season. His semi-final, I think, was the best he's had all this season, which is quite poor for someone of his standard. But I think he's found something here, and he's got Chris Henry as well, which, you know, in his corner. He's also in Mark Selby's corner, by the way, as well. So that's got to be a difficult one if the both of them are in the final. But, yeah, he's got his swagger, he's got his confidence. I mean, I commentated on his first match here against Mark Davis, and he was all over the place. You know, he could have been easily 4-1 down. He got it together, turned it around, and now he's built momentum. And now he must be absolutely feeling so good after beating Judd Trump that, yeah, he has his confidence back. And once he's confidence back, he's scoring well, as I said. He's going to be tough to beat.
So Ken won the World Championship in 1997. He's a Manchester United fan. He features in our football show tonight, as well as John Virgo. Can you remember your first game?
1954. We played Luton Town, we beat them 3-2. And when people say, how good a Manchester United supporter I go, Wood, Folkes, Burn, Coleman, Jones, Edwards, Berry, Whelan, Taylor, Violet, Pegg. Bobby Charlton was in the reserves them days.
And how good was the team then?
Well, I mean, as a kid, you know, I mean, just to see him play, you know, and I always remember Duncan Edwards. He had legs like tree trunks, you know. But of course, 4 years after going to my first game, February, the Munich air disaster, and Salford was just, it just brought it to a halt. There was a cloud hung over Salford for not days, not weeks, years.
So that is at 7 o'clock tonight. Or you can watch it whenever, because let's be honest, at 7 o'clock tonight, you want to be watching Shaun Murphy versus Kyren Wilson. So the second semi-final starts here at the Betfred World Snooker Championship.
Betfred, proud sponsor of the World Snooker Championship.